All right, today we're gonna go over lower body workouts. The first thing that you can do for a lower body exercise is what's called a goblet squat. You utilize a dumbbell, holding it up on your chest, feet shoulder width apart, squatting down, then standing up. So that's a goblet squat. It's a very good squat for a beginner. If you're having trouble sitting down, you can squat down onto a med ball. You can utilize a med ball to make sure you're sitting down, and that'll tell you when to get up. So the med ball will let you know that you're going deep and getting low on your squats. Another thing that can help you with your depth of your squats that you can superset, which what a superset means is that I would do a goblet squat, go to the next exercise, come back to the goblet squat, and continue to go between those two exercises until the recommended amount of sets are done. So one thing that can help you with the technique of your squat is an assisted squat. You simply utilize a pole, and as you get lower, it'll assist you into sitting down. And you can sit down much further in an assisted squat than you can in a regular squat. Simply come forward, arise, stand up, and then sit back down. So you can easily do a set of 10 of assisted squat, and that'll help you with any type of squat you're performing. Another squat that'll be a step up from your goblet squat that helps build your lower body is the back squat with a barbell. Technique for that, you want your feet about shoulder width apart. When you sit down, you want a nice big chest, keeping that chest up, explode up. So control that weight on the way down, then get up. Control, 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 explode up. Making sure that we're not collapsing at the bottom. So the back squat will be a step up from your goblet squat. If you get really good at goblet squat, then that means you're ready for a back squat, which you can lift a lot more weight with a back squat versus a goblet squat because you're limited to just the dumbbells. Sets and reps, you can do anywhere between 3 sets of 10 on a light day to maybe 4 sets of 5, 5 sets of 3 on a heavy day. Another squat that helps build the lower body, which is a little bit more focused on the anterior front side of your body, your quads, is the front squat. Now there are limiting factors with the front squat, which may be your ability to get your elbows up. So this is how a front squat looks. It's very important with the front squat to keep your elbows up, sit down, control that weight down, get up. Control that weight down, get up. But one of the limiting factors with front squats is getting your elbows up. So what you'll see a lot of people do who can't get their elbows up is they'll grab the bar in this position here, which is totally fine if your goal is to only front squat. But with our athletes at A&M, when they front squat, they have to get their elbows up because it's relative to the power clean. So when we do power cleans and they catch a power clean, they have to catch it with their elbows up. So that's why our athletes here have to keep their elbows up. But that's another lower body exercise, more so focused on developing the front side of the body more than the back. And reps and sets for that, sets and reps, is just like with the goblet and the back squat. You can do as many as 3 sets of 10 on a light day or maybe 5 sets of 3, 6 sets of 2 if it's really heavy. But that's another exercise you can put in your lower body workout. Outside of weights, there are other ways to build your lower body. You can utilize something as simple as a band. Put it around your ankles, and you can do what's called a banded lateral walk. So you'll bend down in an athletic position, have your toes forward, chest up, but while staying low, you walk laterally, walk sideways. But you want to be sure to keep the tension in the band and try to keep your toes forward. So you don't want to bring your feet too close. Keep the tension in the band, your toes forward, and then return. So you want to work on each side. This will really fire up and work on your hips and the outside of your glutes. That could be used in a warm-up or in your actual workout. For example, I can do back squats and then superset that with this. A very simple movement that'll get you a good sweat going without utilizing weights. Another exercise for the lower body, which is a little more advanced just because of the position you have to try to maintain while doing it, and it'll work on your posterior of the body, working on your backside, is the RDL. So you want your feet to be about shoulder width apart, and you'll start this exercise from what I call the top. So you won't start from the floor. You'll start standing up. You want to try to keep that bar close and push your hips back, and then bring your hips through, keeping that bar nice and close, pushing those hips back, then bring your hips through. The bar and the weights will never touch the floor. You're going about shin height, bring your hips through. So the goal of that exercise is as you lower that bar, you're really pushing your hips back and keeping that bar close, and you'll feel it all through the backside of your legs. That's really good for developing your hamstrings. We use that here to help prevent injuries on the hamstrings for our athletes. So that's another lower body exercise that can be implemented in your workout. Sets and reps, here we do about 4 sets of 6. You can do 3 sets of 8. As I said before, the more reps, the lighter you want it to be. The lower reps, the heavier you want it to be. Another benefit of that will be your grip, your forearms. Because if you have a lot of reps, eventually, if you don't have very good, strong forearms, that'll become a factor. So that's a byproduct of that, is strengthening your forearms from holding that weight throughout the set. Another exercise that many people are familiar with is simply lunges, weighted lunges. Here we like to hold the dumbbell in that goblet position, keeping that chest up. And here we also want to focus on getting our knee up and toe up with every step. We don't pause with our athletes, but pausing is perfectly fine if it's very difficult for you. So you go there, drive off that front leg, knee up, toe up, drive off that front leg. But if you have to pause, so if you have to come here and then go, that's perfectly fine. But I'll say that the goal would be able to do lunges without having that pause. So that's another exercise which can be prescribed in different ways. You can do it by distance or steps. You could do 4 sets of 20 yards, 4 sets of 20 total steps, or 4 sets of 10 steps each leg. However you want to write it out, there's many different ways. You can even do it for time, maybe if you had it in a circuit program. But that was some exercises that can be in your lower body workout. That was just some examples. There are plenty more exercises, but I just went over the basics.